What is up, everybody? This is Alex from IHE TV. Woof. And I'm going to talk about Dogman for a moment. I don't expect for too long. That's what's good about this channel. I can just have a little organic ramble conversation about whatever I want. So I didn't actually know this film existed and was DreamWorks' effort until making that box office midpoint of the year movie and seeing it on there. Being like, what? I'm the #1 biggest DreamWorks fan and this flew by me. But not the kiddies, I suppose. Weird premise. A policeman and a police dog are fused together after an accident in kind of a weird, horror-y, dark scene. You know, it's never, like, truly disturbing. It's more the concept that's kind of freaky, in a cat-dog sort of way. This is based on a book that I realize I have seen in, like, bookshops from creator Dav Pilkey, who also created Captain Underpants, which I absolutely was obsessed with when I was a kid. I loved Captain Underpants. And that utterly carefree, goofy tone with an underlying level of heart that is in Captain Underpants is kind of what won me over to Dogman 2. While definitely held up by its visuals, like this story is nothing really anything unique or reinventing the wheel, I find it hard to get mad at when I think what it's doing for its target audience. This is like a U, which in the UK is like the lowest rating. I think most kids would probably enjoy this. And yeah, most of my enjoyment came from the animation and detail of these character designs and being able to adapt that iconic art style into a 3D form without it looking creepy. Like growing up, whenever, you know, there'd be a 3D Family Guy thing or a 3D Simpsons thing, it would often look scary when the designs are soft and kind of charming from the 2D, and there's just really not a problem with that at all. Like, yeah, I really liked the character design of this fish in particular, who was also voiced by Ricky Gervais, which didn't love. I find him, I don't know why he's done so many voice acting roles, because I don't think he's a very good voice actor to the degree where whenever he says anything, it just sounds like Ricky Gervais speaking. Whereas I was kind of surprised when I looked at the cast and saw that this cat character was voiced by Pete Davidson, who actually felt like he was playing a character. It didn't just sound like Pete Davidson to me. But it was fine. It wasn't that distracting. It's a fairly small role in the film. I liked that the titular Dogman doesn't say a single word in the entire movie. I assume that's part of the book. And that's the kind of thing animation should be used for. It's so expressive that you don't really need to rely on dialogue a lot of the time. And some details that a lot of DreamWorks stuff aimed for really young audiences that usually annoy me didn't quite get to me. There's this whole angle where the villainous cat, you know, it's the good guy dog, the villainous cat, in a very kind of superhero-esque setup where they're trying to foil each other all the time. The cat clones himself, but he doesn't realize that the clone's going to be like a baby version of himself, and they use that as a way to kind of soften him as a character. He's kind of more of a main character than Dogman himself, because he actually gets to speak and go through change as a character, but Dogman's just kind of cute, as long as you're not thinking about the fact that he's got like a human body, I guess. This is another one to add to the collection of these animated films that are allowed to be weird, colorful, experiment with different frame rates, and simultaneously keep the budget strangely low. Like I mentioned this in the box office video, but 40 million for this is quite impressive and just leaves so much more room for profit when you contrast that against an Elio, you know, Pixar's latest effort, which I haven't seen yet, so I can't talk about on a quality level, but look at this, 150 million. And as far as how it looks a lot more generic. That's a bit of that detail-oriented problem where it's like, yeah, you can see the pores on Elio and the glisten of his tear as it falls out of his eye. Or you can have a Dogman and a cat in this hyper-stylized, cartoonish world that's charming and weird, and tonally just feels like the silliness of those Captain Underpants books. And speaking of Captain Underpants, let me see what the budget on that one was, because I remember a kind of similar thing. I enjoyed the movie from memory. The only reason this is rated a 1 out of 10 is because I went through a phase of tracking the movies I was watching pre-Letterboxd on IMDb, and I didn't want to give it a numbered rating, so I just gave it everything a 1 out of 10. Because I'm just like that, I guess. Wow, and even lower budget for Captain Underpants. That was a while ago now, I can't remember. I don't think it looks quite as good as Dogman, but I think it was a bit funnier. But I don't know, I've got a nostalgia goggles for this character, this IB. Not every joke lands. There's a really terrible joke that they used twice in the movie, and that's kind of how it wraps up, which was kind of a shame. But there's heart in there. There are some funny moments. It's so short that it just kind of flies by. I'm glad that it's able to do well. And there's some fun stuff with these buildings that come to life. I liked the way they looked, the way they moved. I guess they kept the costs down by having most of the film sort of set in this city. It's just goofy, stupid. If I had a small child, I'd be thrilled to put on something like this for them. I liked the attention to detail with these So many scenes have the actual dialogue or words appear in world, so it really feels like they care about the book and the way the panels were created. Funny, silly, weird. I'm not going to rush back to watch this anytime soon, but this is solid. This would be like a low 3-star on Letterboxd for me. I think it's about right. And would kind of only recommend it to adults on the basis if you like the look of this animation or have fond memories of the book or Dav Pilkey. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.